and because you just got too many people and you're looking more like a threat. Okay, when we travel, it's going to be kind of like it was when I talked about there was 12 of us and 3 were males and the rest were women and children. It'd be kind of like that. Okay, what it will be, let's say there's 7 of us. Okay, so we got one 3-man team and one 4-man team. Okay, let me see, well, one, depending on the circumstances, one will take the lead, and he'll be leading, like I say, with a handgun. In some cases, he'll be leading with a rifle and a handgun. In some cases, you will figure out the differences as you get on the road or as you get on the path, and you're walking or something like that. You will figure out why sometimes the handgun and sometimes the rifle. Handgun will be concealed, and that'll be kind of like what we talked about, the 12. If he's just one person walking with no weapon, he's less threatening, and like I say, he'll make contact first, or they'll let him go by, and then he can be our backup if we need him later on. So and also in some cases you might have 2 going up ahead, and it'll be the same thing. Maybe they're armed, maybe they're showing their rifle, maybe they're not. It just depends. Maybe one of them will have a rifle and the other one won't. They will have tomahawk or machete or something like that. Now, because there's times you want to look forceful and there's times that you don't, and that's why we're doing it like that. And it'll be the same thing. They don't go out of sight when they make a curve. When they see a curve, they stop at the curve and they wait for you to get caught up before they make the curve. Now they might, kind of walk around the curve and look and see a little bit more down the road, but then they'll come right back. I mean, just in a matter of minutes, they'll just walk out of sight and walk back in. And you'll have a pre-assigned time, like, okay, you walk, you get there, and you wait for us, and you can get out of our sight for 1 minute, and then you come back, and then so if the guy's gone for 2 or 3 minutes, there's problems up ahead. Okay, and so that's why you don't let them just go off and go on like that. Okay, I say, as traveling healthy males like that, we will set up some type of a hand signal system where we can communicate with each other without doing the talking. That'll be probably one of the first priorities. We need to be able to use hand signals to get things done with each other. Another thing would be I say weapons. Right back to, that's why I suggest the Hammer S38. That's always good. AK-47 4 magazines, and I say we're not going to be able to carry a lot of extra ammunition, so we're going to have to go like that. Now, if we're all carrying the same, that makes it easier. Now, if we decide we need to change out, we might be carrying both, AR and AK. In other words, if we come up against people with ARs, we may pick up their ARs. So it just depends. It just depends. Okay, another thing, how we're going to travel. What I've been talking about is when you're traveling on foot. Now, there's going to be times when we're going to be able to. When it is, there's going to be times when we'll be able to pick up vehicles, And when we do, then we're right back to the same thing. I'd rather have, if we're looking at cars, I'd rather have 2 cars. And like I say, 2 cars will be able to hold 8 or 10 of us. And we're right back to the same thing about having a small number. Another thing is if we in a pinch, we could work out something with 1 vehicle. For sure, if we got 1 pickup, we can all get in 1 pickup. But it's just easier when you have the smaller numbers. So as far as I'm concerned, probably 8 would be about maximum. But then again, we're still talking about 12-year-olds, so some of them are going to be little scrawny guys. And so there's so many different things that you have to consider and wait for. Oh man. When you're going to be constantly doing something. When we're traveling, we're going to be learning. We're going to be teaching each other. Let me see. When I say teaching each other, we're going to be teaching each other about the weapons. We're going to be teaching each other about combat tactics. Anybody that's traveled with me, I teach them what to watch for when I do a certain thing. They're supposed to do a certain thing, and these are things that we'll be working out ourselves. Now, there's all these little things that you need to work out, and also remember we're going to have eating, feeding, and trying to feed. Like I say, eight men is going to be a tough one. This is something you need to say to everybody so they understand. You're going to have, at the best of times, you're going to have 2 meals a day. 2 meals a day. That's going to be the best you can hope for. So, and hopefully they're going to be really good meals. And that's going to be in the morning to start the day, and then in the late afternoon. Like I say, we try to get settled in and do all that stuff before dark. And the reason is you're going to be making fires to cook with, and there's really going to be a lot of cold camping. In other words, you're going to be through the night and the dark time. There will not be any fires. I'm not saying that you won't have any coals. You can still have some coals up. And so you make your fire, and really the best thing to do in the evenings, you make your fire, and then you do your cooking. Maybe you're going to do some fishing, or use a slingshot or 22. You're going to have someone in the group that is a hunter-gatherer, and what he'll be doing is he'll use the 22 or slingshot or bow and arrow or whatever, and he'll be getting game. Whether it's going to be rats, squirrels, rabbits, deer, whatever it is he can get his hands on. He'll be looking for that kind of stuff, and that's going to be his job, is to go get this kind of stuff. So he'll be kind of like a scout. He'll go off, I say sometimes when you might take a break or something like that, he'll go off and try to see if there's something around there to get something to eat for late that afternoon. And then but anyway, you're making the fire, and in the late afternoon, and you go on and do your cooking, and see, it's still daylight. So you can see what's going on around you. You take turns eating. while the other people are out, scouting around the area to see if there's other things out there, people, something where you can get, find out, get information, stuff like that. So there's so in other words, you're going to be busy, and all the time. The only time you're not going to be busy is at night, and we talked about that in the 12. And like I say, so when it comes dark, you're not feeding the fire anymore. So you don't feed the fire, and you've had the daylight to find out if you're going to stick up a hammock somewhere, or you find some comfortable leaves to lay on, or I don't know what it is that we're going to be at. And that's not going to be next to the fire. It's going to be anywhere from 20 yards, maybe 50 yards, 100 yards from where your fire is. And the reason is your fire already gave out your position. Now, the difference between us healthy males and the 12, and 3 are males and the rest of women are children, they'll stay close to the fire because that's the way you're going to take care of women and children. We don't get that luxury, and so then we'll be, like I say, a ways from the fire. In case the fire drew somebody's attention and they're going to be coming to where they saw the fire. So we want to stay away from that. And we won't be spread out. We will stay together and in one area, and that's where we're going to be sleeping. And same like the 12, there'll be one person awake throughout the night. So in other words, we take turns, maybe an hour apiece or something like that, staying up. And it'll be the same thing like with the 12. If we can have a place close to a pond or a creek, something like that, you dig a hole next to it and then let the water kind of seep into that hole, and then you use your water purification. And like I say, mine's got a pump on it, a handle, and so you can pump the water out and fill up our bladders, our gallon Ziploc bags with water. So through the night, in other words, whoever's awake will have chores to do. Now, they're not going to walk around that much, but they do need to have a place where they can watch and see, because that's what they're doing. They're watching to make sure we can all sleep and get a good night's rest. Not only for rest, but we need to do the healing for the blisters or cuts and stuff like that we've accumulated through the day. If we're traveling in a car, it's the same thing. You're not sleeping in the car. The vehicles is a target. It's drawing people to it. So you would, like I say, sleep, 50, 100 yards away from the vehicles, in which you can still watch the vehicles, and but you stay away from them through the night. And then in the morning, before you start, you kind of scout around, because there might be a sniper sitting somewhere watching the vehicles. They found the vehicles, and now what they're doing is they're going to see what's going on, come daylight. So, you got to be ready on all this kind of stuff. When your healthy males come to a compound, or I don't know how you call it, camp, whatever it is, you've got to use extra caution, because you're all healthy males, you look and you appear as you could be a threat. So what you do is you'll break down into a 2 or 3 man team, your meet and greet team, and that will be the ones that will come meet everybody. Everybody else will be sit back. The best is if they're not seen. If you're coming to what do you call it? A camp or compound type place. If that's the case, you need to come in there the best. It's the best. You need to come in early in the day, and you go completely around the place, and you check it. You do all this without being seen. That's where scout sniper skills will come in. But like I say, you go completely around the place so you see what it is that you're coming up against. Remember, we are the good people. We're the good guys. So, but that doesn't mean everybody is. So when we come up to this area, remember I said before that I don't ask questions unless I already know the answer. And, some questions I don't know, but a lot of the questions I ask, I already know what the answer is. And so, in other words, we're going to search the area, we're going to see what's going on, we're going to look and see where their weak points are and their strong points are. And then we'll approach them. The best thing would be in the morning, the next morning. Like I say, I'm talking about perfect. This is the perfect way to do it. The next morning, we approach the area, and then, like I say, with the 2 or maybe 3 meet and greet, and then we do our talking. We introduce ourselves, let them know where we're going and what we're doing and all this kind of stuff. And we want to show value, but that's not quite the time yet. Right now, we're just introducing ourselves. And like I say, they have a certain procedure on what they're going to do, questions they're going to ask us, stuff like that, if they're going to let us, stay outside their fence so we can get a good rest and stuff like that. So they're going to be asking us these questions. And once they feel comfortable with having these armed males outside their gate, well, like I say, they're going to be thinking about that. Once they feel comfortable about it, and then they will let us do it. And then, and that's what I talked about. They will go back, talk to their leaders, whatever. Then they'll come back, and then we'll talk to them, and then they'll tell us, yes, we can do it, or no, we really don't want you around here. And then we just go on. Okay. If they say, yes, we're going to go, when you stay here, and then you can ask them, well, can we just, sometime or another, let's get settled in and get taken care of, and maybe we can go have a cup of coffee. You can come out and join us on the coffee, or we can just meet over here on the side of the road here, and we can just kind of talk a little bit. And when you do get this chance to talk, this is the time you're using your people skills. And this is the time we're making connections, is what we're doing. And they need us. We're healthy males, and we're armed. They need us. But at the same time, we could be a threat. They don't know us that well and all this kind of stuff. So they don't know if we're morally right or if we're evil. They really don't know. They have a good idea. Otherwise, they wouldn't let us stay. And but anyway, so when you get a chance to talk to them, you let them know. We came early and we checked you out, and we did notice you had a few weak spots in your perimeter. And, just let them know 1 or 2. Don't tell them all. And the reason is, this is the carrot that we're kind of dangling in front of them. And we've already talked about we're offering first aid, or whatever skills we have, we're going to be offering it to them. So, okay, so we're offering our services, and make sure they understand we are moving. We are going to another place. What we're doing is we are preparing in case we have to come back this way. We are making friends. We're giving them our names. We want them to be known that they had a good experience with us. And then the reason is the other people come along, they're going to be talking to those people. And those people will, they'll say, well, have you come across NoStressMike in your journeys? And they say, well, no. And they say, well, I'm just asking. Okay, now they just planted a seed, NoStressMike. And now somewhere down the line, we might make contact with these other refugees. And then I will say, yeah, I'm NoStressMike. No, NoStressMike. See, that rings a bell. And the thing is, that camp that they were at 2 or 3 or 4 camps ago, they didn't have bad things to say about me. And if I'm lucky, they had good things to say about me. And that's why I try to impress people. If I can impress you, and that's why I use NoStressMike. It's an easy thing. People remember that, And then if I leave you with a good taste, you might mention me to somebody else. Or if somebody else mentions NoStressMike, they're going to smile and say, yeah, I know NoStressMike. And then what's going to happen? Remember I said we have to feel these people out to see if they're good or bad or whatever, And then so if they've already heard about NoStressMike and then they hear about them the second time, they haven't even met me yet, then one of these days when I do meet them, I'm going to say, NoStressMike, I heard about you. And I'm going to say, oh, I hope it was good, or we're just bullshit. But the thing is, they're going to open up faster to me. In other words, they're either going to try to kill me right fast, or they will share with me something, and share information with me. Well, they heard that the road is bad up ahead or something like that. If they're coming this way and I'm going that way, you're going to say, yeah, behind us it was rough, And then because we might want to try to join forces, temporary, if it's some bandits down the road, So these are the things that I'm talking about. That's why you want to leave a good impression, and be scared to say who you are. And when you say who you are, don't be prepared to do what you got to do after that. Like I say, if the guy heard bad things about me, or if he is an evil person, if it's an evil person and he heard about me, it's probably to his advantage to get rid of me pretty quick. So I have to keep that in mind, because and that's why I'm saying down here, you see, I associate with evil people and good people. I associate with everybody, and that's because I have to. And I'm by myself, and everything is out of my control. So I have to. And that doesn't mean I have to be an evil person just because these guys are evil people. No, but if they understand my position, it's easier for us to get along. That's why you do like that. So don't be scared to introduce yourself, and you for sure ask who they are. If it's, like I say, if it's a camp, it might be a small town or something, you ask them where it is, what's the name of this place, because and it wouldn't hurt if you keep a log on the camp and who it was that you talked to. Like I say, they're going to meet and greet you with a 3-man militia. They should if they were smart. And so you take his name down, you write it down at this particular camp, at this location. There's so-and-so, John Smith. He's the one that we talked to on his meet and greet group. And so all this information is very, very important. it may not be important to you at this particular time, but it may be. And this is information that you can trade later on when you cross paths with other people or another camp. Maybe they already know who John Smith is, and they know he's a respectable person and all this, and then you can tell them, yeah, we sat there and we bullshit on the side of the road. They let us stay in there, and then like I said, we just bullshit, and I just told them what kind of skills we had, and like I say, for me, I take away pain, and so then I'd say, he had a sore back, I took care of his sore back, and this type of stuff. So just what I'm saying, this is information, and information is just as good as skills. And so you want information to go along with your skills. There's a lot you can do. So, but anyway, let's see what's going on here. Looks like they got done. I'm going to show you here. You can see it's corn. That's corn, the cobs. You can see they're saving the cobs. They'll be using that for something. I don't know what they're going to be using that for. They've got the husk, and that's what they're going to make their tamales. And but it looks like they're done. Boy, there's not that much corn. They probably took this is half the corn. I think the other half is probably about like that. We usually have a whole lot more corn than this, but they're probably bagged that corn up and took it somewhere, and they'll cook it down. But anyway, so information is a valuable tool, but same thing. You have to be picky on who you share this information with, and this logbook that you're keeping track of all this, that is very, very important. And so you really need to protect it and value it, because it'll have a lot of good information in there. This is going to be the conclusion of the how to be a refugee. Now, I don't know how many parts. It looks like there's probably going to be, I'm just getting ready to start editing it. It looks like there's going to probably be more than 12 different parts. Looks like there's going to be more than, I know, well over 3 hours. I think it's over 4 hours. And I tried my best to try to cover the extremes of being a refugee, and talking about the 12, 3 men and women and children. That's probably about the worst condition I can think of to start off. I mean, once people start getting injured and sick, stuff like that, it's going to really get bad. But that's probably one of the worst. And what a lot of people think of is a bunch of armed men, and so we got that covered too. So it's really kind of on the extremes, and I tried to explain it all. Feel free to email me. Go to my website, and my website will have my email address. My website will have my phone number if I'm in the United States. I say a lot of this is going to be on DVD on this particular how to be a refugee. There's going to be, I've got more DVDs, and I'm trying to cover everything there is. I've got some books out, and it's more on the personal part, on how to personal tactics that I've used to stay around anyway. And let me know if you have any questions. I do public speaking. I do private classes, semi-private classes. I deal with three-man militias, and let's see, I've spoken to oath keepers. I do this type of speaking. I try to bring realism to what's going on, how to deal with things that most people don't really think of so much. Everything is based on my experience, and I just want to be helpful. So now another thing, I speak to groups. I like to at least be 6. 6 or more I can speak to. My semi-private classes, I really like to do 6 or less. The reason is, on the classes, I get into much more detail. And like always, I explain exactly, because you have to understand. You have to understand what I'm talking about. And like I say, I don't know a lot of stuff, but the stuff that I know, I've used. And when it comes to combat type tactics, the idea is you don't need to know much, but what you do need to know needs to work, and 100% is the best. And that's why you need 2 or 3 good tactics. You're not going to fight the same people over and over again if you did your tactics properly. In other words, they'll be destroyed. So that's why you do good, and then once you get it perfected, you really don't need to know a lot. But you do need to know what's going on and understand what and how to do things. Okay, this is Mike, NoStressMike.com.